Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3. As today, it's over the river and through the woods. To Karlach's camp we go. Now, I will clarify that I actually have very little experience with Karlach. She did not exist in the version of the early access build I recorded the original series with. So this will be one of the very first completely new things that I'm encountering, so I'm very much looking forward to it. That said, since we are going to confront Karlach, I have made some slight revisions to our party loadout. For example, Gale now has a new hat. And then of roughly equal importance, we've also got Wyll in tow, at least until we confront Karlach. I did bump him up to level 3. Nothing really notable there, just a pretty straightforward Pact of Blade build. We won't be traveling with him much outside of his story stuff, but I do want him combat ready. And then of slightly greater import, I did also go ahead and take care of Shadowheart's respec, since we're dropping Asterion at this point. I think I covered it before, but essentially we're keeping her as a full-blooded cleric. I just swapped out her domain, and shuffled a few points around. But I see it as a fairly kosher move, because Shar had knowledge as a domain up until 4th edition. I wouldn't necessarily say that the respec has made her better, but it has, I think, given her more utility and allows us to drop Asterion, which was the goal. Though I will say, it also helps that it lets us now pile all of our social skills onto a single character. We now have Persuasion, Detect Thoughts, Speak with Animals, and Speak with Dead all on Auric, and he will be picking up Deception and Performance at level 4, which is just more convenient. He's the party spokesman. Though it may also end up being important if we run into situations where there's overlap, like interrogating a dead animal, or reading an animal's thoughts, or something like that. I don't know if there are situations like that in the game, but knowing Larian, I would not put it past them. That said, we are avoiding the bridge and the ruins across them for now. I'm thinking instead, since we're setting our sights on Karlach, what we'll do is head down this path here, the one that Edwin and his acolytes obviously followed. Yeah, and then we'll go up this scalable surface here. And then we'll just follow the river north. That should take us where we want to go. We've also got the obvious owlbear cave, judging from the tracks and the carcasses and the piles of feathers. But we'll avoid that for now, too. In theory, Karlach is going to be our muscle, so I would prefer to have her in tow before we pick any serious fights. Sublimate of Wispweed.
I'll take that.
And some free boots. Let's see what Wispweed is used for. Ah, potions of glorious vaulting. Bit of elite, but sure. We also have an open coffin full of wooden spoons for some reason. Which, I mean, I guess that kind of actually makes sense if you assume someone was doing some amateur vampire hunting. I'd almost suspect that's what Asterion arrived in, if not for the fact that we have a Mind Flayer pod just south of us. Still surrounded by smoldering bushes. Interesting. Signs of goblins, too. The scrapwood shield. Though I suppose, really thinking about it, it wouldn't make much sense for this to be Asterion's pod, because we encountered him all the way down here. It seems pretty unlikely he'd have covered that kind of distance before we encountered him. So maybe it's actually Karlach's. I don't have much experience with her, but I do know she's one of the new Origin characters, which does imply she's infected.
An empty mind flayer vessel. If its occupants survived, they're nowhere to be seen.
I suppose it's a little silly to stand here and speculate. We can just go ask her.
I saw you training those children. You were so gentle. That's not how I was taught.
Cruel words strengthen neither heads nor hearts, Shadowheart.
I wouldn't quite say that. I learned a lesson, after all.
And came to resent your tutor, I bet. I taught them to fight, not to hate.
Yeah, man's got a point. Using negative reinforcement as part of your lesson plan leads to some pretty spotty long-term results. That's why I stopped playing the piano.
Owlbear tracks. Its nest must be nearby.
Gosh, you think? But yes, we'll come back for that later. Priorities. Doggo!
What was the Blade of Frontier's toughest kill?
It was a great scrap. A hungry minotaur with a hankering for human flesh. An axe-bearing mountain of fur she was. Gave me a nasty scar.
I hope you don't mind if I don't ask to see it.
I mean, I'm assuming it's one of the ones on his face, but then again, I suppose I don't really know the nature of his encounter. Minotaurs are notoriously horny. Alright, let's, yeah, let's chat up the doggo. I don't want to walk by and run the risk it won't be here when we come back. Scratch and Gomwick. Pretty easy to guess what happened here.
I have something to ask.
Keep moving, stranger. Quietly.
Of course, I didn't mean to intrude. But do you mind if I ask what happened?
I told you to go.
Oh, now that we have the Hunter's Bow on Shadowheart, we need to get into the habit of using Gale for guidance instead. Just so I don't inadvertently overwrite our Hunter's Mark without thinking. Wow, Auric Unleashed.
You see a name etched into the leather. Scratch.
Your name is Scratch, right? It's all right, Scratch. I'm not as scary as I look, I promise.
You know my name? Interesting. A predator wouldn't care to learn it. Still, you should go. My friend is injured. He needs rest.
Yeah, he needs to rest in peace. I understand, he was part of your clan, but he's not getting back up.
He's not my clan. He's my friend. Of course he will. And then we'll return home.
Oh, this is sad. Obviously, yelling at the corpse isn't going to help. Tell me, what happened to your friend? How did he get like this?
We were attacked. With cackling, furry things on two legs. And their smell, it was strange, rotten, evil.
You know the creatures he describes. Gnolls.
Gnolls. If they did this to your friend, they could do even worse to you. They may still be nearby. You could come with me if you'd like. I can help keep you safe.
No, I won't leave him.
Well, if your friend doesn't wake up, just follow my scent. I have a camp. You'll be safer there than here.
If it comes to that, I may. Thank you.
Poor guy. Well, let's see if we can glean some more details about what happened here.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
We already know his name. It's Gomwick. So, tell me about yourself.
Run Fleetfoot Courier Company.
Fleetfoot Courier Company. And where do you hail from?
From Trail.
Trail. Why were you here?
Letters. Delivery to Baldur's Gate.
Okay. Where are the letters?
In bank. Standard issue.
And what happened to you?
Pack of gnolls. Claws. Teeth.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay, so not a whole lot to go off of there, but we do know who he worked for, where he came from, and that we've got a bag of letters around here somewhere. Oh, unless he's got the letters on him. Though I suppose there is a chance there's still a bag with more letters stashed around here somewhere. Tough letter. Written in an irregular scrawl, this letter offers an olive branch. Nine Fingers. I won't come back to the city. Not while you have your thugs looking for me. If you want the debt paid, you'll have to trust me and collect it yourself. Go to the graveyard and look for where an M. Kerwin is buried. Get digging and you'll find enough valuables to settle matters between us. Don't go looking for me. I'll know when I'm safe. S. Interesting. You know, I think one of the other letters we found earlier did mention, a Maggie Nine Fingers. So I have to imagine that's the same person. Which does seem to reinforce the idea that we'll eventually encounter them in Baldur's Gate. Though short term, I suppose this just points us towards another stash. A grave marked with M. Kerwin. Which in theory Maggie wouldn't know about because this letter was never delivered. Though I suppose if we do dig it up, this S might have some objections. Soft letter. Excited looping letters fill this message of hope and love. Davin. It's a boy. He's healthy and perfect. I've named him after his father. Come back and see us as soon as you can get leave. Love, Flora. And Davin Jr. Aw, that's sweet. Not really much for us to do with that one, though I suppose we'll keep an eye out for anyone named Davin or Flora. Personal note. A tight professional memo, written with care. Gomwick, be doubly careful on the way back to Baldur's Gate. I've received more reports of attacks on travelers throughout the region. I can't have my best messenger winding up face down in a ditch somewhere. Watch yourself. Better late than never. Postmaster General Danzo. Okay, so obviously this was intended to give us context as to why Gomwick was out here. if we hadn't been able to talk to his corpse. Though it does also give us a name, Postmaster General Danzo, someone to potentially inform of Gomwick's unfortunate passing. At Fleetfoot Couriers. Though clearly our big get here is the location of that hidden stash. But we'll keep an eye out, you never know.
Go on. If he doesn't wake, I'll find you.
That is fair. Good luck, Scratch. Oh, right, that's the Blighted Village up there. Content I am vaguely familiar with, from playing the earliest version of the alpha builds from, like 2 years ago. I'm sure it's changed a bit since then. Not what we're here for, though. Let me just check over here near this dock first, then we'll hop the river. Hunter's stash. Empty. Why have it here, then? I wonder if that's randomized, or if there's something I'm missing. Maybe it's class sensitive, like only rangers can find something there. Also, notice that only like a third of these containers are actually highlighting. I'm gonna have to get into the habit of doing mouse sweeps.
So,
Otherwise, we'll miss stuff left and right.
Why?
Why? That's right.
But why?
Why? A great uncle's name, my father said. But I just figured he couldn't spell.
Aha! And now we know why Wyll became a warlock. For the better spelling. Maybe not the best reason to sell your soul, but I've probably heard worse. And I think we're good. Got some crafting items, a fair bit of food, a couple of quest leads, hypothetical doggo. Not too shabby. But let's push on towards Karlach. We should be right on the cusp of her encounter area. We just need to hop this river, and then I think follow that path to the left. It looks like that'll lead us right towards her quest marker. Just gotta make sure no one gets stuck in the river. Path looks clear. Nothing overtly unusual. Oh, wait. Smuggler's Ring. +2 stealth, +2 sleight of hand. -1 charisma. My goodness. We will absolutely take that. Well, that is a fantastic find, considering that Shadowheart is kind of a second-rate trap monkey compared to Asterion. That'll really help her along. Though, it will make her ever so slightly more unlikable. Which honestly isn't really reflected in her text, I feel. Not since they rewrote her intro. It does feel like there's a bit of a narrative disconnect there. Regardless, still a fantastic find, though it does beg the question of why there is a skeleton with a powerful magic ring just lying in the bushes alongside this road. okay, scratch that. We have some slightly bigger concerns just above us. Oh my. We might actually be... We might be a little in over our heads here. We need to tread very lightly. Hold on a sec. Yep, half our party's stuck in the river. Come on, guys.
I wonder what the next move is.
Oh, I have the magic touch. Is that blood? No, never mind.
There we go.
What path lies before me? Maybe I need more pockets. A key. Wonder what it opens.
Well, you know who might be able to tell us that, Auric? The guy who probably owned the key. And, I'm gonna guess this is him, right here. Polished and shiny, save for the spattering of dried blood. Found near a dead toll collector. Yeah, it doesn't get much more straightforward than that.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Hello, my friend. I'm afraid death is told for thee. Who were you?
Vance. Toll collector.
What happened to you?
Jumped. To escape. Broken.
Yeah, that'd do it. That's a pretty nasty tumble. And what of your tolls, collector?
Gold. Basement. Locked.
Oh, that's a good thing we found this key, then. Right. Where were you trying to escape to?
Anywhere. Away. Safety.
It's weird that we can't ask him who he was trying to escape from. I mean, the most obvious answer is Knowles. Especially given the pile of corpses on the road just up top, but still, there are other possibilities. Goblins, Karlach. I mean, that's right in her encounter zone. That feels like a pretty big oversight. But we do still have a question left, so might as well.
I fell. Dropped key.
Okay, yeah, so nothing really all that notable there.
The spell.
Though that does imply that this is our toll house up here, which is just, my goodness, completely awash with corpses and blood. And again, right in the direction of Karlach's quest marker. That does not bode well. Though we also have blood over here, so maybe we have a survivor further down. Oh, hey. Okay. Well, it turns out we do in fact have a survivor, and it is in fact Karlach, who is nowhere near her quest marker. That is very peculiar. Alright, let's see what's going on.
One horn. The stink of Avernus. Advocatus Diaboli.
Well, I'll be God's damned. The Blade of Frontiers. Thought I'd shaken you for good. That'll teach me to underestimate you.
You're the one Wyll has been hunting. Karlach, right?
Bloody right. An honor to be chased by the Blade of Frontiers, but I...
A great heat roars through you. Her heat, fiery as the hells. Then you're lost in visions of demonic armies as you tear through a landscape of fire and blood. The Blood War. You saw it from above as the Nautiloid passed through Avernus. This woman was on the front line.
What was that?
Evidence. Proof that you're a devil. A gladiator in the archdevil Zariel's army.
I can explain, but it's a whole situation. If you just hear me out...
Another vision. Karlach's blade raised, slicing through devils, Zariel's servants, as her eyes dart around, seeking escape. Her rage and desperation seep into you. She is a victim of the Blood War, not an agent of it.
She's trying to trick us. Don't believe her lies.
You saw the truth. I never wanted to serve Zariel. I was enlisted in her army against my will. Forced to fight, and fight I did. When I saw an opportunity to get away, I took it. I'm finally home. Or near it, anyway.
You served her! That's enough to damn you!
That's enough, Wyll. We both saw the same thing. She's clearly not what you made her out to be. What you were told she was.
Wyll catches his breath and his lips straighten. Sheer dread twists his face.
You don't know what you're saying! You're asking me to trust a devil!
If you won't trust her, then trust me. She's not a threat.
You know monsters, right? Better than anyone. Look into my eyes. Can't you see I'm not what you think?
Shit. You really are no devil, are you? I've been deceived.
Oh, thank the gods. Thought I was gonna have to take your head.
You would have died in the attempt. But there have been enough threats today.
Truce then, eh?
Aye. Truce.
I'm Karlach, but you already knew that. And you are...
It's Auric. Auric Alchem. I'm glad we were able to set aside our differences.
Well met, soldier. Nice to meet a friendly around here. It's been tough going so far. I may not be a devil, but I can put the Blade's reputation to work. How would you feel about helping me kill some evil bastards? Little background, if your moral compass needs something to point at. You already know I fought in the Blood War. I was good. Really good. It turns out I've got a knack for killing demons. That made me a valuable asset. Zariel, the archdevil herself, made me as her personal attack dog. I played along until I could get the fuck out of there. But devils don't like to lose their assets. Zariel liked it so little. She sent a bunch of goons, so-called paladins of Tyr, to take me back. Problem is, I'm not going.
Tyr? That's the god of justice. So you want us to attack paladins of Tyr? You have to understand how that sounds.
Don't worry, I'll lead the charge. But I could use your help. There's a lot of them and only one of me. After that, we can team up. Take Faerun by the short hairs. Sound good?
I like her. She looks like she could throw me over her shoulder and carry me to safety, should the need arise.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Shadowheart. That is a very candid glimpse into your mental processes. I appreciate that. Well, I promise I'll look into this, but I can't promise anything beyond that. If things are as you say, then we will help you.
Fuck yes! They cornered me outside the toll house just up the hill. Doubt they've gone far after the scorching I gave them. Hang on though. Looks like you've got enough backup at your side. Not sure there's room for me. I'll catch up with you when it's time to camp for now. But don't get to any of the fun stuff without me. Got it?
Oh, interesting. Maybe that's why the quest marker was pointing us up there, so we'd go meet with the paladins first. Then I'm sure they would have fed us a line about how they were hunting a dangerous devil as well, much like Wyll was. Oh, I wonder if it's the paladins, the fake paladins, who actually slaughtered that poor tollkeeper. Though that wouldn't really do much to explain the giant pile of dead gnolls. Ooh, nice. That's actually some pretty decent stuff. Arrows go to Shadowheart to leverage that new bow. I guess you'll hold toxins and throwables for now as well. And potions will go in our new potion bag. Though I do need to also get into the habit of actually using those. Oh, right. Well, sorry. What's up, buddy?
You've been witness to a pantomime, I'm sorry to say. And I've played my part all too poorly.
Clearly, your source fed you bad intel. Any idea why that might be?
I can say only this. Karlach's not the only one who's had a villain's knife held to their throats.
What's that supposed to mean?
The truth will out before you know it. One night soon when we make camp, the veil will be lifted, and I'll pay my penance.
Well, I'm trying to trust you here, but I need more details than that.
You're not in any danger, I promise. I can't say the same about me. Well met.
Okay, so nothing else? Actually, Wyll,
Well met.
why don't you head back to camp without us?
Are you sure? The blade stands at the ready.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And just when things were warming up.
Just want to have a quick conversation with Karlach without Wyll looming over our shoulder.
What can I do you for?
Well, first of all, phrasing, but, despite your reputation, you seem like a decent enough person. How'd someone like you get caught up in the blood wars?
Trust me, I'll tell you all about it after we take care of the goons on my tail.
Fair enough. Well, how about this? Should we encounter a devil during our travels, what's the best way to kill it?
Depends on the type. Ice devils hate an inferno, but that's an easy one. Orthons love projectiles. What they don't love is getting their bombs lobbed right back in their faces. Demons, on the other hand, every demon is absolutely singular. You can't ever think you've got them typed out. Sharp instincts, sharp weapons, and a knack for improvisation. That's the only way to survive them. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Oh, just making conversation. No one told me life would be this way. You?
Funny you should ask. I was just thinking about what would have become of us without that Nautiloid. I mean, I know where I'd be. Trapped in Avernus still, with the Blade of Frontiers on my tail. But what about you?
Oh, well, that is quite a question. I mean, so many things have happened recently that I can barely remember my life from before the opening cinematic, the abduction.
Lucky you. Sometimes I think I'd be better off indulging in a bit of light oblivion. Well, we may as well make some good memories mixed in with the body horror, huh?
I mean, sure. I could really live without the body horror, though. And I did have one more question.
Yeah?
About those paladins who wanted us to confront on your behalf.
Yeah. Let's go straight there. Whatever those fucks are getting up to, it's nothing good. Just to say, by the way, they're not really paladins. Lackeys of the Archdevil playing dress-up as paladins of Tyr. No honor among devils.
Oh. Well, I'll keep that in mind. I mean, we'll need to find evidence, but, yeah, we'll look into it.
Hell yes.
All right, let's give this gal a quick gander.
Shy? Let's turn down the fire.
Nothing all that out of the ordinary with her starting gear. Great axe, that's nice, though if we're going to have her on the front line, we might need to slap a shield on her. Or some proper armor. AC 13. Yeah, I mean, AC 13's not going to do it, especially not if we're using stuff like Reckless Attack. Really? Okay, nothing really out of the ordinary here. Nothing all that surprising in skills either, though that +5 in athletics is welcome. That'll make it much easier to reach remote areas. And the passive perception certainly doesn't hurt. So how exactly does unarmored work? Okay, that's pretty straightforward. As long as she's unarmored, she gains her con bonus. No mention of shields, but it does specifically state that heavy armor is not compatible with her other class abilities. So I'm seeing two options here. One is that we go unarmored with mage armor and possibly a shield. That'd push us up to 18. Or, we could just steal Lae'zel's armor. That said, I also need to get her up to level 3, which means I have to take a moment to familiarize myself with her build options, shuffle gear, possibly hit the vendors, and we are running short on time. So I'll tell you what, we'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take care of that stuff off screen, give you guys a chance to leave some feedback, and we will pick up here next time as we shed some tears. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Revenant, Alois, CrowkingLoR, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, ErieV23, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Rowan Church, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
Oh, thank the gods. Thought I was gonna have to take your head.